Hi there. Welcome to Tech Talk Weekly. This is our weekly show where we talk about 3 or 4 interesting tech topics in the news and get you on your way in about 20 to 22 minutes. Today we are in soggy South Florida, and I have managed to snag my wonderful co-host and fill-in Autumn Deck from Maine Library, where we are both recovering in our own libraries.
Oh, yeah. Like some of us are soggier than others.
I think you are very, very soggy, yeah. How bad is the flooding in your area?
Well, I mean, it could be worse. Most of the water is gone from our street. I mean, I live on a canal, and the people who are down closer to the part of the river are still kind of underwater. So there's that. There is no longer water in my house, so
that's a very good thing. That's yeah.
That's
so
good.
If anybody out there hasn't been paying attention right now, Broward County is in the middle of a flood warning watch from yesterday. We got 21 inches or so of rain in less than 24 hours. And we are all scattered to the winds as we're trying to recover and rebuild things today.
Yay.
So let's talk about something else. Let's throw up.
Let's throw up. It'll be fun.
Yeah, let's throw this one up here, and let's take a look at this. If you saw our little interrupted start here for the moment, you may be wondering, like, "Hey, Bob, how did you just manage to pick this story to start off with? Is your internet able to handle what you want it to do?"
Apparently not.
I'm guessing that it is part of that storm messy outside there. But I thought this was a really good way of starting out. This was picked for the day anyway. How fast is your internet there at home there, Autumn?
I don't know. We got fiber.
Okay, good. So you got fiber to the house. That's good.
Yeah.
A lot of Broward County still isn't full fiber. Broward County actually has mostly cable, which you're only going at the speed of coaxial instead of fiber. I've got gigabit to the house at my place.
I mean, that's what they tell us it is. So
yeah, well, there you go. And that's what this is all about. Can you really tell are you getting what you're paying for? So I'm going to put, as always, the links are in the chat for you.
Or they will be.
They will be, I promise. And we're going to make sure that you know how to get a hold of these speed tests, because you should be going in, testing your speed on your internet at home, finding out just exactly what your actual speeds are versus what you're paying for, because you kind of want to get what you're paying for. And we talked about this last year when the government rolled this out. The FCC rolled out a site last year for testing broadband speeds and getting actual data from customers. I'm going to put that link here again from that previous show to say that you can go in and see exactly what your speed is supposed to be and report back to the FCC if your people are lying to you about your speeds. When's the last time? Yeah. When's the last time you actually tested your speeds, Autumn?
I usually only test it when something seems wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so we only stream. That's it. We do not have cable. And have it for years. Okay, so I'm going to apologize if you hear meowing in the background. My cats are outside of the room and not happy because I have the catnip in here.
Good.
Anyway, because I need it. No, I'm kidding. We do nothing but streaming, right? Let's see. I'm looking at the FCC list here. I refuse to do any sort of video calls because it's gross. It is. It's disgusting. I don't like it. I don't like phone calls either. So, but I do have a game console connected to the internet. I don't use that as much, but I do use online multiplayer video games. Okay. So, like a handful of them: Warcraft, Guild Wars 2, soon to be Diablo 4, Destiny 2.
That'll be another show
of games that I play online with everybody and their brother. And I only notice, and I'm looking at the streaming numbers here, and we usually stream either in HD or in HD 4K. And very rarely is there buffering. Very rarely.
Good. So that means
I never have problems with.
You're getting the speeds you're supposed to. Excellent.
I mean, I have one of the major carriers. Not plugging them. Not gonna do it. But I have a major carrier, and so at least it seems their internet.
Do you have a choice in carriers where you are?
What's that?
Do you have a choice in carriers where you are?
Yes. Well,
I live in a part of the county where we don't have a choice. We have a single cable provider,
and it's not a major one.
And it's not a major one.
I mean, we have one of the major carriers at another property, which is like 2 blocks from here. First world problems, right? But this is the only space where we were able to get fiber. We can't get it over just literally
2 blocks.
The other way, the other direction, like behind me. That way.
Yep.
So, and they're 2 different carriers, and I will say the fiber carrier that we have is much better than the cable carrier that we have.
Okay, that's good. Should be. That's the way it's supposed to be.
And it's roughly the same price.
One of the advantages of fiber, we'll have to check in on your other place later on, I guess, because fiber doesn't short out in water.
No cable problems over there. They're fine.
Good.
Because they would have let us know by now if they didn't have.
With cable, I've seen problems with connections, and with fiber, no problems because of weather, hurricanes, etc., and stuff like that. So that's a really good thing. And speaking of which, though, of being connected, that was a very excellent segue. Thank you very much. I keep talking about ambient computing a lot, voice assistants and that kind of stuff. And this is how that is really affecting the entire world. Because in India, as our example article here, they have started to see multiple banks give out smart speakers to vendors so they can process payments by voice, because so many of the shopkeepers in India are illiterate. They can't read. They maybe or may not be able to do the math. Most of them can do the math a lot. But as it's coming in, you don't need to do any voice. You can just speak out to the speaker there, not going to set off anybody's things. And then you can hear back that the transaction was correct and get a transaction number that you can write down, hand back to the customer, and it solves all of your stuff right there without even having to deal with all the receipts and all the other stuff that goes on.
Interesting. So this is good and potentially bad all at the same time, right?
Tell me.
Because it's good because now they are able to accept payments and whatever without needing to read or have someone around who can read.
Yeah.
The next thing is predatory practices in this type of situation. Outlandish fees. They're not going to be able to read the user agreements.
Right. Oh, 100% on that. Yeah, that's a really good point.
No idea what's going on. And like I said, it's great and horrible all at the same time. Because somebody's
they have multiple banks doing this at once, so that you have competition between them doing it and not having like one major smart speaker brand out there dominating everything like we do here in the United States. Yeah.
Or, are these actual individual banks, or are they all splinter offshoots of one particular company?
That one, I don't know.
Yeah, that's, again, awesome and awful all at the same time. And I tend to be very skeptical of this. Yes, they should be able to make money. They should be able to do business, right? And they don't necessarily have the privileges that we do.
Right.
When it comes to education systems. I mean, obviously, we do still have people who can make it all the way through high school and not be able to read. But they're a different situation there, and there are plenty of other places that are like this. I'm just a little skeptical of some of these people.
And again, link is in the show notes for everybody. However, I do want to point out that this is one of the stories we didn't get a chance to cover today, was, as it casually mentions, they don't make money from facilitating UPI transactions. UPI transactions are the transactions from bank to bank. And there's a whole story about that, because this is now quickly becoming a rival to the more traditional one that Europe and the United States uses to facilitate all those money transfers. So let's keep an eye on that one. It's going to be really, really interesting. Almost 7 million of these boxes from just one of the multiple banks so far spread out throughout the country.
Wow. That's crazy.
Of course.
I mean,
how many billion people are living in India?
There just a few more than that. Yeah. That's probably a very small percentage for them.
Yep.
Very small.
Yep. But speaking of voices and speaking of those other people, here's the story. What do you think about this one, Autumn? You tell me first.
I think that the kids are going to be fine. That's what I think. And they are right. It doesn't matter which one's smarter. You need to be kind to both of them. You need to say thank you.
I am in full agreement on that one.
Because when they take over, they'll remember who was nice to them.
So in the gist, if you're not seeing the article on the video here, Duke University did a long, in-depth study, but with 4 to 11-year-olds, asking them if it felt wrong or if it was mean to attack or to be mean to multiple different semi-intelligent objects. The Amazon speaker, the Echoes that they have, and the Roomba robots are the two that they compare in the article, but they actually went into a little bit more detail in the article about some of the other stuff that they did. But this was all part of the Brain Sciences organization. And they said even 4-year-olds understood that a Roomba doesn't have feelings, but you still shouldn't be mean to it. And if you're going to interact with Echoes, you should be nice because they seem like they are people. So how do you think about that one for our ongoing AI issues? Should we be... I'm in agreement with you about just being nice to people. However...
What's people?
Yeah.
The fact is it doesn't matter. People or not. You should be respectful of equipment, of processes. What I find very interesting, and this is like totally not related, but sort of related, with the whole situation that happened in Tennessee. One of the people killed was the school janitor. And I follow a gentleman on Instagram who talked about who sang praises of that man, even though he didn't know him. But he said that when he was in elementary school, the school janitor was magical because he had access to all this stuff and he could do all these things and it was amazing. And this is showing that children have respect for what could be extrapolated for customer service and manual labor.
Yeah.
That there is it's not different to them. Both Alexa and the Roomba are providing a service to them.
Yep.
And they say thank you. It doesn't matter One is not better than, they agree that maybe one is smarter than the other, which it really technically isn't, but they just have different jobs.
Yeah.
And it also shows that somewhere along the line, a lot of us forget that.
Yeah. It's on the door of my office. Be nice.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
And if you're not, just pretend. Who cares? Come on.
Yeah. It's a simple, easy thing to do. We should all be able to just handle that.
And again, they'll remember the children.
Yeah.
They'll be like, that kid was nice to me.
There we go.
We're gonna let them be a pet.
Ha! Speaking of which,
no, it's not a pet.
No, these are
Not a pet.
Again, I did not plan this, but it just so happens that one of Autumn's favorite obsessions is dealing with all sorts of octopus things.
Yeah, okay, that's not an obsession, but okay.
Okay. You just find them very cool and very interesting.
Yeah, they're very interesting because they're very smart.
There we go. So this final story for the day, the real reason that I picked it up was because they found a way to do a brain scan on an octopus, which in and of itself sounds like, oh, how could you not? But it turns out it's really hard, to do a brain scan on animals when they're in the water, because you can't take it out of the water. They'll fish die. Cephalopods. Officially not fish. Yeah. But yeah, if any octopuses out there listening, I understand the difference. But they actually have a different type of brainwave than all the other vertebrates out there.
Duh.
They have a brand new one that they never knew existed that's going on inside of octopuses.
Yeah. I mean, they have to think differently. I mean, I just saw in there, just in the quick little paragraph talking about wild octopus punching fish for no reason. I say there is a reason. We just don't know what it is yet. And maybe that fish was a jerk. So
I'm all on board with you about that one.
There's the dolphins and the pufferfish. Come on.
Yeah.
Because it's fun. That's why.
So one of the things that, as Autumn was mentioning, we've talked about it on the show multiple times because there's so many cool stories about octopus out there where they know that octopus can track when security guards are moving around in their facilities, captive ones, and they can plan to make their escape or move things around from tank to tank when a guard's off shift, or squirt out a light bulb when they're just annoyed by having that light on, so they know.
I talked about that last week.
Yeah, wasn't that amazing? So all of these different types of things, and they're beginning to figure out that, we knew they were smart, but now we're figuring out they're maybe really way more smarter than we thought they were.
I know this is going into a science fiction type situation, but talking about alien first contact, right?
Yes.
And that,
again, last week,
it's highly unlikely that humans would be the point of contact for our planet.
Yeah.
Because we are not the smartest creature, and our language doesn't contain enough variance for us to actually be able to communicate.
Yeah.
I know whales are at the top of the list.
All the crustaceans, all
the octopus now.
Octopus, dolphins, whales, all those kinds of creatures, way higher brain power per mass, all those things, figuring it out, living in the three-dimensional environment all the time.
The only reason we're apex predators is because we're on land.
Yeah. We wouldn't make it in the ocean very long.
No, that would be bad. It would be terrible.
We're going to find out. And then the story that you did last week on the monkeys and doing magic, because if you don't look the same, then you can't figure out what the other person's doing. So you just pay attention.
If you don't have opposable thumbs, you can't think in that
right
in that context. Like, we don't have 8 arms. We can't think in that context.
That's
They don't have legs like we do. They don't think in our context.
Maybe we need to turn the AI to that problem, figuring out how to talk to octopuses.
Yeah. As I mentioned to Chris last week, let's see raccoons. Do magic for raccoons. See how that works. Hey, they have opposable thumbs. They're super smart.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I think that would be pretty interesting. I think that would be a very different idea.
Your library looks a lot more clean than mine.
I just shoved it all underneath at the last minute. That's all.
I have nowhere to put it.
Don't worry about it.
Thank goodness you can't see that part of the room.
Good. Well, I think we both need to go back and do our cleaning and mopping and.
Oh, please. Okay, whatever. You didn't flood, so settle down.
Oh, we'll find out.
But the sun is shining, so.
Yes, it is. The sun is nice and bright out there right now, and I'm hoping that the rain holds off for another. No. Oh well.
It's coming.
Well, we hope all of South Florida dries out over this next couple days.
Eventually.
And over the weekend, we'll reopen, and everything will be great.
Hooray!
Hooray!
Long weekend. No, I'm kidding.
No. Okay, so let's throw up our final slide here. Thank you, Miss Autumn, again.
So,
if there isn't a librarian or a library you'd like to see featured on the show, remember to reach out.
Or if you want me to take over.
Broward.org. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.